While the garage was still flooded after a major storm in Florida, an electric Tesla suddenly burst into flames, raising unsettling questions about how EVs handle extreme weather conditions.
The fire spread to the home and burned it down.
What?
Catches fire in flooded garage, so water sets them on fire. Puts everything else out but sets EVs on fire. In the wake of a powerful storm in Florida, a Tesla electric vehicle burst into flames while submerged in a flooded garage. A shocking incident that has since drawn intense public attention and renewed debate about the safety of electric vehicles, EVs, in extreme weather conditions. While no injuries were reported, the fire caused significant damage and left many wondering how safe are EVs in flood-prone environments. The incident took place in the coastal city of Palm Harbor, Florida, following heavy rains and storm surges brought on by Hurricane Helene. Local authorities reported that the home's garage had been completely inundated with water. Inside the garage sat a Tesla Model Y, one of the automaker's most popular electric SUVs. After being submerged for some time, the vehicle unexpectedly caught fire.
Experts advise that electric cars exposed to salt water be moved at least 50 feet from homes.
It's not something you'd expect, is it really? According to a video shared by local emergency services, the blaze started from beneath the vehicle. Within seconds, flames engulfed the car, spreading rapidly through the garage and sending thick black smoke billowing out. Fortunately, the family living in the home managed to evacuate in time, but the damage was extensive. Why did the car catch fire? Experts believe that the fire was caused by a short circuit within the vehicle's high voltage battery pack. Like most EVs, Tesla vehicles rely on lithium-ion batteries, which are particularly sensitive to exposure to water. In England, and even more so to salt water. In coastal flooding events, water often contains high levels of salt, which can corrode internal components and create conditions for a phenomenon known as thermal runaway. Thermal runaway is a chain reaction where one battery cell overheats, igniting adjacent cells in a dangerous feedback loop. Once it begins, it's extremely difficult to stop. And in EVs, this can result in fires that reignite even after being extinguished. According to the Pinellas County Fire Department, crews had to use thousands of gallons of water, it was in water, to fully douse the flames and cool down the battery pack. A stark contrast to traditional gasoline car fires, which are typically easier to suppress. This is not the first time a submerged EV has caught fire. In recent years, similar incidents have occurred during hurricanes and floods in other parts of the US, including during Hurricane Ian in 2022. Florida's Chief Financial Officer and State Fire Marshal Jimmy Patronis has previously warned that electric vehicles exposed to salt water pose a serious fire risk and should be treated with extreme caution. After Hurricane Helene, several more reports surfaced of EVs spontaneously combusting after being submerged. Authorities have urged EV owners to relocate their vehicle to higher ground before storms and not to attempt driving or charging them if flooding has occurred. Tesla, an official response. Tesla has acknowledged the risks associated with flooding and had issued safety guidance to EV owners. The company advises that any vehicle suspected of water exposure, particularly submersion, should be moved away from structures and flammable materials and inspected by professionals before any attempt is made to operate or charge it. In this case, local firefighters echoed those warnings. They emphasised that once a battery has been exposed to salt water, the risk of fire may persist for hours or even days, long after the vehicle appears to be off or safe. What this means for EV adoption. The incident underscores growing concerns in the area of electrification. While EVs offer clear environmental and performance benefits I'll go along with. Environmental benefits, they start off, they're dirtier to produce than an ICE car and take probably at least 23,500 miles to catch up. So, no. After a certain amount of mileage, yes. Before, no. And all the pollution and shite that it causes in the Congo and the health risks in the Congo, I don't think so. Consumers too are being asked to stay informed and take proactive steps, including avoid parking EVs in flood-prone areas. Never attempt to start or charge a vehicle after it's been submerged. Alert emergency services if you suspect damage to an EV battery. Their safety in extreme conditions, especially flooding, must be better understood and addressed. Manufacturers, policymakers and first responders are now being urged to create clearer protocols for handling EVs in natural disasters. So you have a natural disaster and then the car adds to it. As in America recently, the EVs hampered evacuation and they also hampered clearing up too, and they made the devastation worse. Los Angeles fire cleanup complicated by unprecedented number of EVs with combustible lithium-ion batteries. Highly combustible lithium-ion batteries used in electric and hybrid batteries are complicating cleanup effort in the Los Angeles neighborhood ravaged by wildfire damage. Phase 1 of the federal cleanup is underway as surveyors with Environmental Protection Agency EPA work to remove and dispose of hazardous materials, including lithium-ion batteries found in charred vehicles and decimated homes. The EPA warned that batteries should be considered extremely dangerous even if they are believed to be intact and can spontaneously reignite, explode and emit toxic gases and particulates even after the fire is out. The Palisades and Eaton fire aftermath is estimated to require the largest lithium-ion battery pickup cleanup that's ever happened in the history of the world. EPA Incident Commander Steve Kalanog reportedly told KNBC. He explained that removing lithium-ion batteries, even those that do not appear damaged, from fire wreckage requires technical sophistication and care as hazardous material crews find and deionize the batteries so they can be crushed or safely shipped for disposal. We don't know the long-term effects of all this exposure, and we haven't seen this on this large of a scale and this many electric vehicles, Los Angeles City Fire Captain Adam Van Gerpen told KNBC. This is an unprecedented amount of electric vehicles with lithium batteries in there. California wildfire cleanup crews tackle toxic waste, risk of exploding batteries. According to the California Energy Commission, more than 99,000 zero-emission vehicles were sold in Los Angeles County in 2024 alone, including battery electric, plug-in hybrid and fuel cell electric vehicles. The Tesla models Y3 and Cybertruck were the top 3 selling zero-emission models sold in Los Angeles County last year, according to the Commission's online tally. Authorities are warning that residual heat poses danger for days, weeks and even months after the initial fires, potentially causing lithium-ion batteries to spontaneously combust. With the lithium-ion batteries, even if they look like they are intact, they could have damage on the inside, so they continue to off-gas, and the off-gas from these batteries can be toxic to your health, Van Gerpen said. Besides in electric and hybrid vehicles, lithium-ion batteries can be found in personal electronics, vaping devices, power tools and home energy storage systems, which have become increasingly popular during California's power outages. We were with the Environmental Protection Agency as it took the first steps removing all the hazardous waste, propane tanks, cleaning supplies and paint cans while negotiating the newest challenge, electric vehicles. Chris Myers runs the EPA's lithium-ion battery emergency response team. They've got their own emergency response team for it. That says everything. He says batteries in electric vehicles can explode or ignite when damaged. Chris Myers, uncontrolled out in the field in public access, is very, very dangerous for anyone who is on site right now. Not just our workers, but the public at large. And Myers says just identifying electric vehicles after they were incinerated was a challenge. It used to be fairly simple. If there was not an internal combustion engine with that vehicle, it was an EV, right? But now we have plug-in hybrids, hybrid vehicles, a tremendous amount of different platforms in which batteries are included in those vehicles. Sharon Alfonsi, I mean, there's not stuff left in some. You can barely tell it's a car. Myers, exactly. Alfonsi, a lot of the times. Myers, exactly. So the EPA conducted reconnaissance. Dozens of teams fanned out across the burn zones, searching for the skeletons of electric vehicles in the debris and calling power companies and manufacturers to locate the power walls that were often attached to homes to charge them. EPA teams found about 600 EVs, most of them in Lynn McIntyre's Palisades neighbourhood. We watched as an EPA team approached one of them. Our crew was instructed to stay back 75 feet because even weeks or months after they're damaged, lithium-ion batteries can explode, emit toxic gases or reignite. Alfonsi, it sounds like you're treating these batteries almost like a live grenade in the field, that you don't know exactly what you're dealing with. Myers, that is the way we actually speak about damaged, right or insulted lithium-ion batteries. Don't tell me they explode if you insult them now, crikey. Bit like the evangelists. Because they are delicate, they are fragile, they're unstable. Bit like the evangelists. Very, very comforting that, isn't it? Because they're unstable, extracting the batteries from one electric vehicle can take a 6-person team up to 2 hours. It's a delicate surgery performed with heavy machinery. First the top of the car is sawed off, then an excavator flips it, exposing the batteries underneath. Thousands of cells that make up the battery are scooped out and placed into steel drums. Those drums, up to 6 are needed for each car, are then transported here to this temporary processing site where they are plunged into a saltwater bath for 3 days. The saltwater gives any trapped energy a place to go, so they're less likely to reignite. See those bubbles? That's energy releasing from the batteries. Myers, those cylindrical cells are from, generally, the vehicles or other energy storage systems, but it is the same battery from a toothbrush to a hoverboard, to an e-bike, to a scooter, to a golf cart, to a vehicle, to a Powerwall. That's a battery-powered scooter. Myers shared this simulation video from the UL Research Institutes to show how smaller lithium-ion batteries, when damaged or overheated, can explode and spark a fire. Myers says even batteries that don't appear damaged, such as this Powerwall, can be dangerous. Intact batteries are typically more volatile, so they have to be brined before their cylinders are removed. After a thorough soaking, the cells are scooped out, shoveled onto a steel plate, Alfonsi, after you've smashed them up, then where does that waste go? Myers, so that waste goes to either recycling facility or disposal. Alfonsi, how much of the waste can be recycled? Well, we all know lithium batteries, you can recycle it all virtually, you can get everything back. Except, Myers, well, it's tough. Because there's so much damage to these batteries, oftentimes they're burned up, they're covered with ash, there's a lot of contaminants. It's actually probably ejected most of what would be recoverable during the recycling into the air and surrounding area. Alfonsi, so there's not a lot. Myers, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of value still left in what we have here. That's funny really, because an internal combustion engine would mostly be alright, I guess, especially the block. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of value still left in what we have here. And what is left is technically still a hazardous material under California's strict environmental regulations. But here's why that is complicated. There are only 2 landfills in California certified to take hazardous materials, and even before the fires they couldn't hold all of the state's hazardous waste. So we wondered, where was all this battery waste going? We found the answer 600 miles away in Knowles, Utah. About half of California's hazardous waste is trucked hundreds of miles away and buried in nearby states, mainly Utah and Arizona, which rely on more lenient federal waste standards. Back in California, so they ship all the crap off to somewhere else. What does that sound like? Does that sound familiar? Back in California, a cavalry of trucks arrived to start the second phase of the cleanup, removing the rest of the debris, about £9 billion worth. Eric Swenson, I anticipate having all fire ash and debris removed by 1-year anniversary of this event. As climate change continues to increase the frequency and severity of storms, incidents like the Tesla garage fire in Florida may become more common. The technology powering electric vehicles is still evolving, and while EVs are generally very safe under normal conditions, new challenges emerge in the face. So the brand new ones, no, I won't go into that because we don't know that it was EVs. New challenges emerge in the face of nature's extremes. For now, awareness, preparation and swift response remain the best tools for preventing future tragedies.